Okay. Here. Oh, I thought that was like a. Guess that's. I don't know. All right. The camera. I gotta get a new thing for the camera tripod thing or the thing. It's really annoying me. It's all. I don't know. But what's up? Welcome, man. I am back. We're back. We're back. I kind of had to rush off the last stream, and some people were like, "Can we do calls or whatever?" And I don't know if anybody's interested in calling. There's maybe a few things I can talk about or add on for the last stream. I know it's a little late. Let me just check. Do we have notifications? Do you guys actually get notifications? And I'm not talking about Discord. I'm talking about YouTube. Did YouTube tell you I'm here? I think I should have notifications. And also I was told that the redirect. So at the end of the stream, like last stream when I was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna move you over," and apparently Bunny was telling me 700 people were here chill. It didn't move people over. We were just waiting for it to move over, and it didn't happen. So that sucks. So I don't think it's working. We're gonna try it again, but I've noticed the last couple of streams, I don't think it's actually been working, which kind of sucks because it's a really nice tool. I don't know what's going on. And I saw somebody asking about a chase. For a second, there was almost a chase, and like all the other chases that's happened recently, canceled. I don't even think they're really trying anymore. I just kind of think that they're like, "Oh, there's a chase," and then the cops are like, "Screw it." I don't think they want to get involved in these. I feel like they just backed off. But so we're gonna look at some things with the map, and I saw a video from NewsNation talk about brainwashing, but then I've also seen some people talking about where they feel Rudy, which there's so much, I feel like there's still a lot missing from this, I don't know if we'll ever know type of thing. But people feel like he was complicit, he could have left, he could have whatever, which I question if the abuse did start. When did it start? People said he was walking around, he was going to neighbors' houses and stuff, and could have left at any moment. So there's questions about that too. I was gonna do something. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, let me share this out. Let me share this out to Twitter, the world of Twitter, Twitter world. It's really hard to say, man. I don't know. Am I feeling better? I don't know. The first day I took the meds, I felt good. But then today I was coughing a bit. So I'm not sure. Maybe it takes time to kick in. Maybe there's nothing going on with me. Maybe it's just allergies and I'm popping all these antibiotic cough medicine and steroid stuff. I don't know. But it's not bad though. But I got a hot piping cup of tea. I got 3 different types of tea bags in there. I got chamomile, lavender together. I got lemon balm. And then I got some other immediate thing. I have honey in there. I should have put lemon. I forgot to put lemon. Don't be a Zav girl. Ooh. Oh yeah, she's catching heat right now. She's catching heat. I feel like after he crashed her car, she got mad at him and they came up with this plan so they could collect the money from public. Oh no, Carly! People are thinking stuff like that. Now let's talk about the trash outside the house, which Grizzy, she's a local in Texas. Let me tweet this out real quick. Come hang out. She's a local in Texas. And I seen some, I heard, I haven't seen it myself. I heard some people were comparing her to other YouTubers or like a grifter or something like that, or even to Quanell, which I think is completely not true, not fair. I've seen her, and I just feel like if people don't know the Texas thing or seen some of the Texas stories, she's been around for years. She's not like collecting money from families or something. She's actually boots on the ground in her community, putting in work. So I don't have these people just simply don't know for them to even compare Grizzy to whatever negative thing they want to say. Because you simply haven't been there. You don't know. Okay. Anyway, this map stuff, right? I agree. Zav, horrible. Yeah. I have my own things about that whole situation, beyond even that, really. Did I put Vicks in the tea? No, I didn't put Vicks in the tea. Um. Okay, so Rudolph, this is his home right here. And Grizzly was in the backyard. We'll take a brief look at some of the things that we saw previously. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but she describes like rotisserie chicken, maybe peeing stuff back there, all this stuff back there that could possibly belong to Rudy. Um, I was asking because I was wondering about a baseline because, like I said, I've been to a lot of places. Like one, I was wondering what this is back there. I forgot what Mo told me. I was wondering what this dirt road is back there. Let me pull up the map. But where's the map out here? Oh, I didn't do that. Let me get the map. Some of the other locations, they all have trash. Now, where Grizzly's at, it is directly behind the house. So yeah, it could be Rudy's, maybe. Let's see where she shows it. While I pull up the address.
The back gate. Let me see if I can show y'all real quick. Hold on, let me show y'all. There's like a little trap door that would open, I think, open and close. There's two ways he could have went over there. Man, look at this. And I'm about to show y'all because I went through all this stuff. I should have went through there, but como pendeja, I went somewhere over here. It's a lot of thorn bush all back there. But let me see. Let me climb over here.
Now, what could be going on too with the fencing thing here? What Flossie was telling me, it could be one of those privacy things. Maybe that's why it's kind of hard to tell, like a privacy type of fence, gate type of thing. So that's possibly could be what's going on there. So this, I guess this maybe was like the old gate, and then this is like a new gate, possibly. It looks new. A new gate that was installed. And Grizzy is saying that there's like a door there that opens, which...
See? You see? You see? And there's a lot of evidence back.
Carly says if you look at that piece of fence, is the same fencing that she's standing next to. They replaced part of it. Yeah.
There. Which I'm going to upload because I kept getting a bad signal and stuff. So, just, I got stuck one more time. I can't take it, man. Oh my God, I just want to curl up in a ball with my dog, man. Man, this stuff is crazy, friend. We can't make this stuff up. Woo. But yeah.
So, and then the other thing, let me just skip right here. Kind of showing us again the backyard.
He had. And so he was made to come back here, according to a lot of, the people we've talked to. And you can see like signs like big hands. You can see cranberry juice, just like even takeout, rotisserie chicken. Really, really crazy stuff.
It could be, I don't know. It could be a hangout spot for him. Like I said earlier too, the neighbor had mentioned he just goes out in the woods and stuff. A lot of these other locations, though, I'm going to show you in a second. They do have trash all over them too, though. But this is right by, I don't know. I mean, they're all right by the
too.
trash.
We saw some pee buckets. It's very sad, man. Cans.
I mean, this right here has holes in it that looks, I'm not sure, I guess a bucket or a flower. This looks to me like almost like a flower pot thing or whatever. Like a... Thank you. So, and Texas subdivisions often have alleyway access to behind the houses. I'm gonna show you some stuff. How does she know they're pee buckets? I don't know. I've been to places where I'm not sure exactly everything that she saw back there, but I know I've been to places here in Florida where those buckets. Well, what I've seen is like the gallon of water that people use. I've seen those come filled with urine at like camps that I found when I've gone out personally myself. Um,
Man, I guess she was sending him back here every time family members came by. There's little bricks right there you can sit on. A little cooler over there. You can see everything. Look, rotisserie chicken. Like, hey, go eat outside. A lot of.
so this actually, so what I noticed this when I was talking about. So this is actually from the other side of the. If you see where the motorcycle is, so this is the old fence right here. Before, I believe she was on this side, and she like looked over to show us. I don't know how she got around. Maybe she went to the front and around the other side. Now we're looking at the old gate here. So she's actually standing on the opposite side, I think. If I'm getting this right, I don't know. I'm a little confused by this angle. Let's see the houses. See the houses there. I'm not sure. The motorcycle's there. Yeah. I think she was like on that side, I think. That's the only thing I can think. I think she was on that side looking where she's at now, I think.
All right, I'm going to slow this down. Do you guys see that car right there? Somebody came and picked it up after I left, and I came back to show you guys.
The other side? Okay. So now I want to show you the map because I was talking in the earlier stream too about like establishing a baseline. And so, when I go to places personally, when I've gone and I see like this type of stuff, it doesn't shock me or surprise me. The first couple of times it did. Now, I guess you have to take in context Rudy lives. That's the house he was living in. So, yeah, I'd probably be looking back there too for sure. But let's see. We got the map here. Let me just show you this too. Okay. Actually, let me do something just to prevent any kind of any mistakes. Okay. East Houston Trucking. Okay, so we got this field back here. This is behind where Rudy's at. Now, some of the locations that we can check out, because we can't check all of them out. Here's like a little map that Mo did. Some of the locations that we can look at on the map through Street View, like over here, these little like dead ends right here, we can check those out. So, I mean, we can't go in between the houses and the Street View and get a view. So, for example, here would be one. Let's just check it out. So you can kind of see like this place is just trash seems to be like a common thing. This one looks cleaner on this side. Over here. It's kind of trash all over the place. That's like a tire right there too. Tire. Let me see where else marked off on the map. We check these two spots. We got another one here and here. Top right and top bottom. This one looks actually more well kept. Can't really tell. Then we got one more spot. Yeah. Trash. Looks like some trash. A little bit of rock. So I don't know. And these are from 2015. So I mean, there's different spots with trash. I mean, the context is this is Rudy's place, and the amount of stuff there. I don't know how much stuff is behind all the other areas, but yeah. So I just wanted to show that. Now, all right, the other two things that I wanted to come back and kind of show. So, like I said, there were some people that think this or feel this is complicit. Some people that don't. Hello. Okay. Let's start by watching this video first. But this guy that made this long post that's kind of causing a little bit of a stir in the Facebook groups. I'm gonna get to that after the video, but some people are kind of going off. Some people agree with him. Some people don't agree. Who wrote this? I looked at the profile. Hard pass. I agree. I checked the profile. He's quick to move, young fella from the mic when he said Rudy always carried a gun. Check the profile, take a pass on his opinion, not opinion to mean anything. I don't know. So let's start with this one first, where they talk about systemic brainwashing.
Through all of this, criminal defense attorney Steve Barrick. Steve, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Natasha.
Steve, it's a very strange case. First of all, Quanell X came on our air. He was insistent that he sat there for that hour and 15-minute long interview with police. He said, under no uncertain terms, that Rudy said he was both drugged and sexually abused by his mom. Police are saying no such report of that during the interview. How is that possible? What do you make of that discrepancy?
Natasha, this one.
Police are saying no such report of that during the interview. How is that possible? What do you make of that discrepancy?
Natasha, this one's got me stumped. I mean, I've been a lawyer for 25 years. I've been a prosecutor. I've been a defense lawyer. I've handled sexual assault cases as a civil litigator. This is a weird one. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a real head scratcher. It's the facts in and of themselves suggest something very strange. And in fact, when I first heard the comments from the activist, Mr. X, I believe his name is, I wasn't surprised. But then for the police to come out and say that did not occur, I'm really stumped. I think this is a real weird one. I think there needs to be a thorough investigation, because I still believe that there's a lot more going on here than what has come forward so far.
Yeah, and I mean, could it be that there's just a mismatch in their interpretation of what sexual abuse looks like? Because Quanell saying some of these details in the bed naked, kiss on the lips. He said at one point she told him, "You have to call me daddy. That you're the dad now." And he said that there were other details. He used the word incest. Could it be that the police heard those same details but somehow did not?
He used the words incest, and then the other lady that was standing with him the other day, when they had that press conference, she said intercourse.
Interpret that to cross the line into sexual abuse?
Natasha, I think you brought up a great point. If you look at what the officer said, he was very careful to say, "I have been trained to look for probable cause."
He did say that. Probable cause.
And what he's saying there is, I have been trained to listen for the facts showing the evidence of a crime. So it's possible that everything Quanell said may or may not have been true, but the officers are interpreting that does not reach to the level of having sufficient probable cause to prosecute. These internal family molestation type cases are extremely tough. It appears very clear to me that Rudy has been through some systemic brainwashing for a number of years here, because when, his comments when he's talking to investigators seem drastically different from 1 minute to the next. But look, anytime you have a scenario where this now man was reported missing as a teenager, and apparently he wasn't missing at all, but was in the custody of his mother, there's something very strange going on here. And, you know, I saw how animated Quanell was, and that man heard something, absolutely for sure. And that
Uh-oh.
officer was being very careful with how he was saying. So I think that they're hopefully we're going to hear more over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and
about
in
this
the
case.
in the meantime, Quanell also telling NewsNation that he begged police to not let Rudy go back home with his mother after the interview, that he is concerned about his safety. We know Rudy is an adult now. Does it surprise you that they are not separated at this point of the investigation?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any legal mechanism for the police to utilize to separate them. He's an adult. He has free will. He can go where he chooses.
That's the thing, man. Like, that's the hard part about it. Like, he is an adult now. He can do whatever he wants. You know, he's been, the only thing I could think is if he's been like brainwashed or like some sort of thing growing up, but neighbors saw him. He was out there. Well, the one neighbor, Keisha, we saw earlier, she was talking about he was always like high or lit or on something. Rudy was. I mean, he could have, you know, not left with the mom that day from that hotel or wherever they were at, or said police this and that. It's just weird what Quanell is saying, which Quanell claims to have evidence. I'm thinking, I guess he recorded it. He says he has evidence of what happened. Houston police replied on Twitter and said that they're not going to comment. It's an open investigation. That's it. And Rudy is staying, I think, with a friend of the mother or something like that. Yeah.
I guess I would correct myself. He may or may not possess free will with his mother. That's probably a major question that Quanell would probably contest. But I don't think they had any mechanism to prevent that young man from going back with his mother, and it's sad, frankly.
Thank you for watching.
So let me read a little bit of this post. Go full screen. A little bit of this post. And I was wondering, and I've been kind of talking to people and just thinking, is this what's going to happen next? Is that it? Is it just going to die out? Like, is he just going to go about his life, kind of disappear, and his mom also? Are the police really investigating? I guess. What's going to happen after their investigation? Are they just going to move on? Just whatever? Is mom going to be charged with something? Can they both be charged? Because I think at one point they said that Rudy was giving, when they came to the house, I thought he gave a different name or something, but you could argue maybe he was under her control. So there's this guy. I don't know. I guess the people looking at the picture of this, they're kind of like, no, hard pass. The bizarre case of the missing Rudy Farias, a pathological liar, professional liar, a hallucination, walk into a bar, all allegedly, of course. Sounds like a bad joke, but it's not. It's real. It's much worse than a bad dream. It's a nightmare. This is an essence of the bizarre story emerging of the investigation of missing person Rudolph. I'll make it clear from the start, I stand with HPD detectives and investigators working on the case. They have handled this case professionally and correctly thus far, despite the feigned outrage and criticism unfairly leveled against them. They should be left alone and be allowed to do their job without further interference. Rudy's father was an HPD officer who tragically unalived himself August 2014 when Rudy was 17. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head when he did that. I don't know if they were close or not. Was it August 2014? I would have to check this guy because I don't. Let me see. I think it was. Yeah, it was. Okay, 2014. But Rudy wasn't. What am I thinking of? Well, it might have been 16, 17. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I don't know if they were close or not. There have been conflicting reports. What I do know is that 9 months later, Rudy was reported missing by his mother. By all accounts, Rudy's mother has some pretty big issues, for sure. Mom is crazy. For sure. And if you are not sure about that, you should definitely check out the first video that I did on this story. Because if you're just looking, I see some people just looking at the surface and they're like, whatever, they clearly don't know. If you check out the first stream that I did on it, it's a long stream, but we take you through all the mess. Some of the allegations are that she's involved in various schemes with that intent to defraud people. For instance, it has been alleged that she used Rudy's disappearance to raise funds. What's the problem with that? Rudy was never missing. His mother gave various details about how Rudy was kidnapped and held against his will. She allegedly raised money based on this completely fabricated story, and it was all a lie. If true, that would constitute fraud, theft by deception. And both she and Rudy apparently kept up the charade for the past 8 years. Yes, Rudy seems to have been a willing participant, going as far as hiding from his relatives, giving neighbors a fake name, and lying to the police about his name so he and his mother could keep up the charade. Then their illegal scheme all fell apart when somebody noticed Rudy sleeping on a park bench, thought he was in trouble, and called 911. Well, that's an interesting possible. And that's still, what's up with that whole, like Carly said the last stream, where is this witness, the person that saw Rudy there? And just like that, Rudy had been discovered, not missing. Enter Quanell X, drama queen and self-promoter extraordinaire. I first learned of this case when someone sent me a copy of the initial media interview with Quanell. He stood before an onslaught of cameras and told a dramatic story of a little boy who had been seemingly victimized by everyone in society, including his mother. Then he dropped a bombshell that shook the city. He stood there and went into detail about how this child's mother abused him, how she, when his father died, told Rudy he had to take over the husbandly duties, how she made him sleep with her, how she made him shower with her. He told about how Rudy's mother made him take psychedelic drugs for the past 8 years as he lived in hiding with his mother. Quanell even broke down and cried. And like I said, I did the last stream and we went over some of the controversial stuff in the past, and I've known about this guy for a while, and I even talked to somebody in text message yesterday. Somebody that, vehemently does not like Quanell, but she watched the press conference that he did, and she was like, I believe him. She said, after re-listening to the Quanell press conference, he gave me chills. I do not think he's telling lies in this case. He's very angry, very consistent. I don't know. There was a small problem. None of that seems to be true. Quanell railed against the police because they didn't do what he wanted, which was to immediately arrest Rudy's mom without a shred of corroborating evidence. Just arrest her now because Quanell said to arrest her now. That may be how social justice is supposed to work, but that is never how criminal justice is supposed to work. Oh, shit. In criminal justice, there are two basic elements that must be present. Number one, credible witnesses, and two, corroborating evidence. I'm just thinking about what he said. In this case, Quanell seems to have destroyed both. Even if the allegations of abuse against Rudy are true, it's likely that criminal charges will never be brought, courtesy of Q10. First, he destroyed any chance of Rudy being considered a credible witness. Quanell went on to television, national television, and told the world that Rudy had taken psychedelic drugs for the past 8 years. So basically, according to Quanell, Rudy had spent his past decade hallucinating. Consider Rudy's eligibility as a credible witness effectively destroyed. So I kind of disagree with that. Taking hallucinogenic drugs for nearly a decade could very easily cause an individual to lose the ability to differentiate between reality and fantasy. That part is true. But prosecutor in their right mind would take Rudy, their star witness, without knowing and being able to prove whether these lurid tales of sexual aggression by his mother were true or just hallucinations caused by years of psychedelic drug use. Yeah, PB and J. That's what Keisha. Any update on the nitrous oxide guy? No, I haven't seen any update. I don't know. I wonder what happened to that guy. Is he alive? I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Quanell claims he came out there multiple times and said that police said he could say whatever. Like nothing's gonna affect the investigation. just think there's so much missing that not for corroborating evidence. There's been none to date. And because of Quanell's excessive need for attention and chances of finding any corroborating evidence at this point are virtually nil. If the allegations were true, the first thing Rudy's mother would have done would be go home and destroy any evidence. Well, that's that part. I think she would have done it already, but she had time. Even before Quanell was on TV, once he was found and the thing made the news, and then cops just didn't talk to him for I forgot how many days it was, like 8 days or something like that. She had plenty of time. But I mean, I guess you could add there Quanell. I feel like I said, I feel very mixed feelings about it, because I've called out things on him in the past. It's a very hard thing, because like what I said with Malia Davis, he's the reason that little girl's body was found. So it's like almost in some cases, in certain situations, maybe a necessary evil. In some, very few. I'm not, there's so much about this guy, because we just went through that whole list of these people making all these allegations about him keeping the money, and kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. All right. So in any case involving allegations of sexual assault against Rudy's mother has been virtually obliterated, bearing, of course, any discovery of video, audio, electronic, or forensic evidence. HPD drops their own bombshell. The next day after this story had blown up and gone national, HPD held a press conference and made a stunning announcement. Rudy did not tell him anything about sexual allegations Quanell made against Rudy's mother. Why? Or he said what? Rudy made no formal complaint against his mother, period. Quanell made the allegations. Rudy did not. I was contacted by ABC 13 this evening and asked to make a comment on this case. I gave a brief interview with the reporter, Micaiah Hatfield. After the interview, she told me that Quanell gave another press conference today, publicly calling HPD investigators liars. So now I'm curious. I found a video of the press conference she spoke of and watched it for the first time. It was no surprise to find that this was nothing more than a Quanell X show. He was clearly directing the show. He told people where to stand. He told people what to say. He told people when to talk. He actually grabbed the people and jostled them around like a director on a movie set. And I noticed something else. He seemed to be in full Sia mode, as if he knew he messed up and trying to recover his actions by finding new witnesses. The whole press conference was not designed to provide new information. It was designed to make Quanell look better, because HPD gave an official account which pointedly contradicted his version of events. A new bombshell. Then, while watching his own press conference, I discovered my own bombshell. An unidentified reporter asked Quanell a simple question: why should we believe you? I remember that. That was Friday, right? Quanell seemed stumped. Instead of answering the question, he seemingly made a fatal mistake. He called up Rudy's aunt, who has been very vocal about her hatred of her sister, Rudy's mom. Considering it is impossible for Rudy's aunt to explain to the media why they should believe Quanell's ulterior motive here was quite clear. Rudy's aunt has been a Quanell cheerleader throughout this whole ordeal. He didn't want to explain why the media should trust him. He wanted to step in and save him by singing his praises. He wanted someone to step in and save him by singing his praises. And true to form, she did. Except for one little thing, and it stuck out to me like a sore thumb. She inadvertently gave us a glimpse of the truth. Suddenly, Quanell became very uncomfortable, visibly uncomfortable, as he should, for a good reason. Rudy's aunt gave the following account, standing in front of microphones with Quanell standing behind her. When Quanell talked to him, Quanell said to Rudy, he said, "Is that going on?" Referring to sexual assault by his mother. And Rudy nodded his head. Rudy wasn't going to say it out loud. Boom. Rudy wasn't going to say it. Did he say that in the press conference? I might have to listen to that part. He said he has proof. There was one part in the presser where a reporter asked him something. We might have to listen to a little bit of it. The reporter asked him about the proof. I thought he said, did you record it or something? And I don't remember what his answer was. We might have to listen to that snippet of that portion again. Let me get rid of this guy in the chat. Little hater. I'm not sure why he's here. Let me just block him. Okay, boom. Boom. All right, keep moving. All right. So, okay. So we might have to listen to a snippet of that. I think I will pull that up when we're done with this. And the reason I wanted to pull, I didn't get to read this whole thing. I just read like the top part, and I was like, you know what? Let's listen to what some of the other side is saying, or like the other side of the argument. So I kind of wanted to get a little perspective. So here's the scenario we have. The police said Rudy never told them about the allegations of sexual assault. We know this to be true because Rudy has never filed an official complaint with HPD, which I would hope that if this stuff is true, that Rudy would do that, or he gets the support he needs. Quanell said that Rudy said he didn't want his mother arrested. So if this stuff is true, is he kind of like holding back because it's his own mother? Rudy's aunt, an ardent Quanell supporter, which the whole ardent Quanell supporter, is that just coming from because of this case? Has she been supporting him in the past? I mean, if I was family and this happened to somebody and I had somebody with a big influence that was kind of helping out, I would probably be grateful and thankful, unless there's other ulterior motives. I don't know, that makes her an ardent supporter. He's just like a voice for the family. The family is upset. They feel like police aren't doing enough. And here's one person coming out and saying the same things. But anyway, Rudy never told her or anyone in the room. Now says Rudy never told her or anyone in the room with her about the allegations of sexual assault by his mother. She said Rudy only nodded in agreement when Quanell told him to nod in agreement. Really? Again, Quanell seems to be directing the show. This is a clear pattern here. Today, Quanell is the only person who has made allegations of sexual assault committed on Rudy by his mother. Rudy never made those allegations. He wasn't going to say it out loud. HPD called Quanell out. Quanell held a press conference to rebut HPD and call them liars in a desperate attempt to boost his own credibility, but his biggest cheerleader inadvertently dropped him in the grease. She corroborated HPD's account that Rudy never made the allegations. Those words of Rudy's aunt. Those are the words of Rudy's aunt. That is her account of what happened, not mine. What Rudy's aunt described is a classic case of witness manipulation. Quanell appears to have completely controlled and manipulated this witness. Quanell seemingly made these salacious sexual assault allegations against Rudy's mother, then coerced Rudy to nod. But the whole thing about the kissing, the tonguing, the shower, the bed, naked, that has to be more than a nod. That's what I'm wondering. Where did all that stuff come from? So if whoever feels Quanell made this up, so he came up with that completely, concocted it, and that was all Quanell needed to pump up the drama. Quanell had the story, and he was off to the national press. Quanell intentionally interfered with the police investigation. He interrupted, disrupted, impeded, and interfered with investigators while they were performing their official duty. My recollection, I mean, from what I heard, supposedly Rudy only wanted to talk to Quanell, with Quanell in the room. And he compromised the integrity of the investigation to the point that if the allegations were true, the case might never be able to be prosecuted. What now? Obviously, HPD has to continue the investigation. What I would anticipate is a quick closing of the sexual allegations. Rudy never filed a formal complaint against his mother for these allegations, and much to the consternation of Quanell, Rudy is the only one who can. He is the complainant. Quanell cannot file charges on Rudy's behalf. From there, I would anticipate a shift from sexual assault allegations to fraud allegations. If this was my investigation, I would include Rudy as a potential suspect in the fraud allegations until I could disprove him as a potential suspect. Let's get one thing straight here. As much as they want you to believe that Rudy is just a boy or a child, that is far from the case. Rudy is nearly 26 years old. He's a grown man, fully capable of making his own decisions and legally responsible for his own actions. He should be prosecuted like anyone else. If he was a willing participant in any of the many fraud or theft allegations, and just like anyone else, he would be entitled to a hearing to determine his mental state. Yeah. but he should absolutely be considered as a criminal suspect until he's excluded as a criminal suspect. Finally, if this is my case, I would ask the district attorney's office to consider filing a criminal charge, interference with public duties, on Mr. Ralph Quanell Evans. Is that his other name? His first name? Before he changed it? I forgot. Quanell X and anyone else who interferes with or impedes these investigators as they try to sort out this nightmare. This kind of social justice interference nonsense has to stop. P.S. I'm attaching a copy of the video statement made by Rudy's aunt. Listen to her words, then pay close attention to the body language of Quanell. He fidgets and squirms as she lays it all out. You can see the pressure building. He actually takes off his glasses, exhales a large amount of air. The micro expressions of his face and his body language are very telling. I think he made some interesting points. I wouldn't necessarily agree with everything, but he made some good points, I think. So we're going to check this video clip out. There's another chase. Let's see if it actually happens. There's so many, it's been days of like, oh, there's a chase. Oh, it's canceled. If a chase happens to happen, we'll jump and start a chase stream. Let me see something. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Let's see what's going on.
Better get their shit together. When I said when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, "Is that going on?" So he nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud. So do you expect me to call this man a liar?
Oh, okay. Let's see what this person's saying here. Let's see.
When I said when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, "Is that going on?" So he nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud. So do you expect me to call this man a liar? Hell no. HPD and the DA better get their shit together. When I said when Quanell...
I don't know. What do you guys think? Sean, today's chase was rescheduled due to inclement weather. I know if there's fog, they actually do... actually won't go and stuff like that. What do you guys think? I wonder if we should listen to that part where she's talking. Let's get the full pressure. We'll listen to that part. Okay, thank you. I can do that, Mo. Thank you for getting me the link. By the way, if there's people that's blocked and you want to be unblocked, email me or send me one of the mods the link to your channel. Because the block list, sometimes people that are blocked are on the list, sometimes they aren't. So I need the actual link to the channel. If you weren't blocked, or if you were blocked by accident or for no reason, some people actually should be blocked. Like the last person I just blocked myself, weirdo. So you're gonna have to make another account, and we'll just block your account when you make the other account. Just keep making new accounts. So yeah, let me get the whole presser. Let me get the presser here if I can find it. Quanell X. Let's see here real quick. Quizzy. Press conference. Here's one.
Of Rudy Farias. I have come here today to speak that which that young man spoke.
Oh, but we need to see his face though, right? This one's from the side.
I have come here today to...
We might need his face to see the facial expression. Hold on. Let's see if I could Quanell X press conference. Let's see. Okay, okay, Grizzy actually posted the full thing, I think.
No way.
Here we go. Okay, we can watch this one. I think this is the whole thing. Let me see. The aunt comes out. Oh, no. No, she did it in 2 parts. Let's see. Find it. I mean, I could play my own video if I have to. This is from Fox. Okay, this is part 2. Okay, here we
Hey, neighbors.
That was already
Tell nobody.
Here we go.
these charges on this man that's in this
Now,
house.
let's listen to the part with the aunt.
You're gonna have a whole problem.
Quanell, can I ask one more? Broader question. There's been a lot of things said, inaccurate, accusations of lies, second party, third party accusations. Why should we believe you?
This is the part. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. Why should we believe you? Oh, we just turned it up, so make sure you guys can hear it well. Yeah, the media.
That you are telling. Accusations of lies, second party, third party accusations. Why should we believe you that you are telling?
I'll answer. The family wants to answer also. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Pauline Sanchez Rodriguez. I'm the half sister of Janie Santana.
No, yeah, some people definitely need to stay blocked for sure. I'm not just unblocking random people, but some once in a blue moon it happens by accident. So
I'm going to answer that to you, okay? Number one, I'm going to get into a little detail, okay? But first of all is there's some things that can be answered and there's some things that are not going to be let out until the right time, okay? Right now, foremost important, Rudy's the victim, okay? We got to accept his privacy and certain things that he does not want mentioned, okay? We cannot call Mr. X a liar because that he's not, all right? Put it past a few years ago when my mom was alive. I don't mean to bring the subject. My mom rest in peace, and I keep saying that, but I told her I will bring this to an end, okay? Meaning I'm the oldest of the sisters here in Houston, okay? I didn't tell nobody. I got involved. And I continue to do this until we see her get the help that she needs. Okay, that's all I'm going to say, because she does need help. Janie Santana. Now, when my mom was alive, our mother was alive. She was under my care, under home health. Okay, I'm not going to mention the company I work for. She was under care. When I would not hear, or our mom would not answer the phone, I got concerned. That's time for me to do a welfare check, okay? Because I work for an agency, and the mom is under the state, and I'm going to come and check. So I come like the state does without notice. Okay. When that door wasn't open right away, I started thinking. So not once, not twice, it happened numerous of times. Finally, the door would open after 20 minutes. I put a watch on time, okay, because I'm on work duties. So when they finally answered, I got to see our mom. I did a welfare check through the agency. First thing my mom would tell me, Rudy is here. Rudy is here. I said, Mom, are you sure Rudy's here? Rudy is here. He's back there. So I walked around freely. I didn't see Rudy. You know why?
So that's kind of interesting because that kind of goes to grandma. Grandma, you know, she passed away. I think it was, I forgot what year. Was it 2020? Grandma would say that he's back there. So was she talking about outside in the backyard, like on the behind the house?
So I walked around freely. I didn't see Rudy. He's back there. So I walked around freely. I didn't see Rudy. You know why? Because that gave them enough time, or Janie Santana enough time, to get him through the damn back door and go into the woods.
Now this shit, I don't know why I didn't click when I was doing the first stream with her, but now skipping to this part and rehearing it, and now, okay. That makes sense. Possible. As far as like him being back there, that being his stuff, there's all this trash, even though the other locations I've trashed too, but this seems possibly a concentrated trash way back there.
Okay?
And lots of times, she always kept his bedroom door locked.
Locked. And nobody could go in there.
You also have to keep in mind, which is just so bizarre to me, that, you know, there was these private investigators. We did this. I have a playlist. You should watch all my videos. If you haven't seen them, watch my videos, because we covered a whole lot. So much I can't even remember the stuff off the top of my head. But in thinking about this, when she mentioned that the door was locked, there was a private investigator that said some of the doors in the house had padlocks. Okay. So, I mean, there's a lot of things to kind of take into account. Now, it's fucking odd to me if I walk into somebody's house and I'm investigating a missing person and there's padlocks on doors. That's some shit that, but they claim that they reported it. I don't know. If I'm investigating a missing persons thing and I'm seeing padlocks on some of the doors in the house, that's sus. So there's a lot of things to take into account, because there's some people that are just looking at the very, very fucking top. A missing kid miraculously found. He was at home all the time. It's all bullshit. But there's a lot of details. There's a lot of details, multiple different accounts of people coming forward and giving stories. That's what you have to look into, not just the surface, one paragraph of an article, and then coming to a conclusion and making a video about it.
Right, because I even tried to open the door. She said, "What you doing in there?" I'm trying to check and see, make sure that this house is clean. Half of the damn time, my mom was dirty. I hate to say that. Okay, filthy. And burning herself because nobody was taking care of her. So tell me if I don't have a right to come in here and do a welfare check. I did. Okay, then I would call my family. Okay.
I mean, and she did fight for, it's kind of weird, the 14 years. I mean, I could not have my mother in a place 14 years. I don't know the whole legality behind that. They did have a court thing going on. If I would have came to a place and I saw my mother like that, I said this already before, there's no effing way it would be like, you know, like this, whatever.
But every time my mom would say, he is here, Janie Santana would come out. She's hallucinating. She's on medication. She doesn't know what she's saying. Okay? So, what are you supposed to do? I have to expect her privacy. It's her house, right? So I go about my way and I put my little notes in my system. Okay? At work. As long as I did my job, I'm okay.
I'd be like, fuck the job. It's my mother. What the heck? I don't know. I don't want to criticize whatever, but I just couldn't imagine being in that position. But the story is weird. It is odd. And the thing is, you know, you have this very, very controversial person, Quanell, giving this account that police are saying the opposite. Basically, they claim they're investigating. But then you have all these different witnesses and different stories. And there's still a lot of missing pieces. So we all have thoughts, but we don't really know. We shouldn't have a conclusion, really.
It kept on,
Yes.
It lingered on, and I kept telling everybody, I says, Janie is hiding Rudy. And I have to believe what my mom would tell us.
Now I wonder, did she go to the backyard then? Because I kind of would have, if it was me, I'd be a little curious. Is he back there?
Okay? I had to believe that because moms don't lie. Okay? And what stupid ass mom, excuse my French, is going to do that to her own child? As mad as you are, that's one thing that nobody should downgrade themselves. So this man right here, Mr. X, when I physically, and I'm the type that I don't give up. DA, HPD, everybody. I physically went yesterday because I'm not the one to give up. First, my son went in there to see him. He doesn't want to be on camera. Okay? He's one of my firstborn triplets. He got there. Then finally, my nephew agreed to see me, thanks to Grizzy. Okay? Grizzy's the number one. If it hadn't been for her, we wouldn't have come this far. That's right. This far, and have Mr. X here. The only thing, as soon as I hugged my nephew yesterday, we started in tears. And I know him already from him growing up. He went to a Catholic school. Am I right, Linda? He's not one to lie, because they don't teach you that. And he was raised up by my grandma being through him since he was a baby. He wasn't raised to lie. When I contact him and I more or less told him what Janie Santana did to you, you're gonna be okay. So he more or less knew what I meant. You know, we cried, we shed tears. It's like telling me, yes, absolutely. You know, when I said, when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, is that going on? So he nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud. So do you expect me to call this man a liar? Hell no. HPD and the DA better get their shit together. All right? I'm sorry to say these words, but I'm a type of person like my daughter here. I'm going to speak the way it is. All right? So anybody, for your answer, it has to be answered. He will, what do you say?
The best answer that you could have got, she just gave it to you.
Do you have a copy of his life insurance policy, and would you be able to release it?
I don't have it. I believe that the investigator has.
Once again, my name is Pauline Sanchez. I don't have no, it's like I said.
I mean, that is kind of, I don't know.
Together, all right? I'm sorry to say these words, but I'm a type of person like my daughter here. I'm going to speak the way it is, all right? So anybody, for your answer, it has to be answered. He will, HPD and the DA better get their shit together. You know, when I said, when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, is that going on? So he nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud.
So when she's saying it, is that going on? I don't know if she's just avoiding saying, or that he said, are you being sexually assaulted? But she doesn't want to say it on TV. And so he nodded his head, or did he really just say, is that going on? And Rudy just nodded his head.
What Janie Santana did to you, you're going to be okay. He wasn't raised to lie. When I contact him and I more or less told him what Janie Santana did to you, you're going to be okay. So he more or less knew what I meant. You know, we cried, we shed tears. It's like telling me, yes, absolutely. You know, when I said, when Quanell, did I say Quanell X talked to him? He said, is that going on? So he nodded his head. He wasn't going to say it out loud. So do you expect me to call this man a liar? Hell no. HPD and the DA better get their shit together. All right? I'm sorry.
Lord almighty. I don't know, bro. I don't know anymore. I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore, bro. Oh, the Thor, the Thor hammer. I forgot about that. It's right there. I don't know, bro. Yeah, I forgot. It's right there, bro. That hammer thing was something else, huh? Was it the hammer of truth or something? Or what did it say? Justice? I don't know anymore, bro. Thank you, Sharon, for being a member for 6 months. Amazing. Says, whoa. I don't know what else is going to come out from this. Unless Rudy says something or doesn't. Or Mama. I wish Janie would say something, but you know Janie's not going to say anything. I mean, there's been cases of people that were held against their will, but like left to roam openly around the house. I don't know about left to roam an entire neighborhood, though. I don't know if I've heard of stories like that. I mean, I guess Quanell said Janie had told him that police were looking for him. Because I remember there was like a crazy story many years ago about somebody that was kidnapped. They were held in I don't know if it was a basement or like under the bed. And then after a while, they got like more free, like they got more lenient and they were let around the house to clean and cook. And there was times I think the person would leave them in the house. And finally one day, I heard it on a podcast. I can't remember who it was. It was a big, crazy story. The lady, I guess, finally left and got help. But hanging out with people, hanging out with friends, having your own cell phone, I don't know if I've heard of one like that. So, I mean, unless this has been something that's been happening and he's been brainwashed since he was a child or something. That's crazy. I don't know what to think anymore. The one thing for sure is Janie's crazy. Janie's got a gun. She got 2 guns. That for sure. I mean, you have to take her craziness into account. The Texas Hammer. To live with somebody like that, I don't know how you could do it, but all those years. Damn, people going in. Wow, people are going in on this chick, this YouTuber. Lord, they still go. Oh, okay. I don't know. Let's see. Is there anything else? I mean, there was I think that was kind of the. Because I remember there was one other part where some reporter. They really didn't get to ask questions. They asked like one question and he went into a whole thing. They asked 1 or 2 questions and that was it. See NewsNation. I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth doing calls because what is there to say? Okay, let me. Oh, we didn't get to watch this video. Hold on, let's check out this one on Rudy.
Disappearance and what has been happening all of these years. Joining us now is NewsNation legal contributor Sarah Azari. She's also a criminal trial attorney. Sarah, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Natasha.
The layers are hard to unravel here. So first of all, what a bizarre and unusual case. What do you make of all of this?
Well, look, I have, like our viewers, I have a lot of questions and very little answers, but I think this is really ultimately going to turn on the communications between Miss Santana, the mother, and law enforcement. You know, one thing we have to remember that we don't have a duty to speak to law enforcement. We can refuse to speak to law enforcement, but we can't lie to law enforcement. And so those lies matter to the extent that she may have repeatedly reported him missing, or did she just report him missing that initial time? That's sort of a lot of it, the crux of this falsification of a report to law enforcement. And then, of course, the additional investigation into what conduct she may have engaged in behind closed doors, any kind of abuse or anything that we're starting to see some red flags. All of those are a whole Pandora's box of crimes that could potentially be prosecuted. But typically, Natasha, you know, these are crimes that are done to either for financial gain or to garner attention. I mean, I think it's akin to like the Jussie Smollett case, for example, where he falsified a report to garner attention.
You know, there is this major discrepancy we're tracking between what happened during the investigators' interview on Wednesday. On the one hand, we have that community activist, Quanell X. He says that Rudy said during that interview he was sexually abused and drugged by his mother. Police say that there were no such reports during that very same interview. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, the interesting thing about child abuse is that it's a secret, it's secret conduct. I mean, it's not done in public; it's done behind closed doors. And besides, I think him and his mother, nobody else would really know. I think that law enforcement really needs to, in these types of cases, and I've defended many of these. There's a focus on credibility, corroboration to the best that they can. And really that Rudy is the witness. I mean, he's the victim and the witness. I don't think that the mother would have made that known or would have tried to, hide it to the extent possible. So we need to know a lot more about what went on behind closed doors. But it's got all the flags. It's got all the red flags of something bad, essentially, between the mom and the son.
Yeah. And yesterday, Quanell came on our air and he confirmed that Rudy was at home with his mother now. After that police interview on Wednesday, Quanell says that he begged officers to not let Rudy go back with his mother.
Eric, thank you so much for the super chat. Says my head is going to explode. Sharon, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate that. Super chat.
In your opinion, are police dropping the ball here? Should Rudy not be at
Usually
home?
the calls thing is kind of mixed. It's pretty high percentage of yes so far, 85%.
With his mom tonight.
There's no chase.
Well, Rudy's an adult now. I mean, when he went missing, he was 17. He was a minor. So he can choose to voluntarily stay in that home. There's been also reports that he may not be, he's an adult, but he may be delayed. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I mean, as an adult, it's still abuse. We even have cases of elder abuse. You can't abuse anybody, no matter what age. But in terms of staying or leaving and the ability of law enforcement to get involved and removing him from the home, it's a little bit more difficult when you're.
Me dial in. Oh, man. I'm thinking of covering a new one too that people keep telling me is interesting, a new story as well.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
Ashley, thank you for the 3-month membership. Said my head exploded since last week. LOL. Okay. If you want to call, I'm going to drop in the number. I'm also going to check out and see what Facebook is saying. That guy that posted that, I thought it was an interesting post. The other side, the other perspective, asking questions. Not a bad post. Oh, sorry.
In this case, I think they need to act. Obviously, Child and Family Protective Services can come in and easily take the child on the most basic allegation. But in this case, I think they need to actually have some evidence and have something confirmed before they can, engage in a sort of a welfare type of action.
We know the Houston DA says that they've decided to not file any charges at this point in the investigation. Do you suspect that charges will eventually be filed? And in that case, do you think it will be against both of them?
It could be. Again,
and that's what the guy was saying. Yo, how crazy of a turnout would it be if they both got charged with something? I don't know, falsifying reports or what? I'll imagine, because they're investigating, say they're investigating. Imagine towards the end, they both get charged with some shit. How crazy would that be, huh? Like,
what has Rudy said to law enforcement? To the extent that Rudy may have made misrepresentations, Rudy himself could be liable. The mom, of course, if, for example, somebody had said that he came back the next day, but if she continued to make false reports, then she's certainly on the hook for, fraudulent reports to law enforcement. I think the abuse issues that you brought up, what evidence of abuse there might be, is a whole, Pandora's box of other crimes. Actually, fraud for sympathy and financial gain is another issue that I foresee. And then also civil penalties for the wasted resources of law enforcement.
Thank you for watching. Let
me take this person here. 413. Oh, I'm trying to pick it up. 413. How you doing?
I know.
Hi. Who's this?
How you doing?
Good. You sound familiar. I don't know.
My name is Patrice.
Patrice?
I live in Mass.
Well, thank you for calling.
I live in Massachusetts.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. I personally think, and I don't know, the chat is probably gonna be angry at me.
All right. Tell us how you feel.
I think that this guy Quanell I think he's been political all his life. I mean, you read over today. I watched I didn't watch it live. I watched the replay, but people have sued him. I think this guy's like a scammer. I think he's looking for attention. I think he wants to get back into the mainstream. I mean, I think that, don't get me wrong, I think that they're might be, it's questionable. I mean, there might be some issues there, but as far as like Rudy and his mother, but if he was just, if it's coming out where he was just like saying things and Rudy was like nodding yes or no, or was he projecting a story during that press conference? Was he misleading people, to get attention? She was obviously, the mother was obviously misleading everyone because she was saying he's missing for 8 years. But is he misleading people now? You know what I mean? It's the whole story is not connecting. And I question everyone in this whole thing. It's like who is telling the truth?
All right. So do you think Quanell made up the stuff? Or are you on any particular, as far as like if the police are telling the truth, or Quanell, or somewhere in the middle? Do you think he has proof? He has evidence? Did he record this thing? What evidence does he have? I wonder.
He's saying he recorded it. He's saying he recorded it.
Oh, that's what I meant to play too. When we're done with the calls too, guys, there is a part. It was really hard to hear, but they do ask him about what is the evidence. I'm going to try to find that too while I talk to you guys. I forgot his response. It was really hard to hear.
Can I just ask you a quick question that's off the subject?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm not going to name any names, but have you heard that people are putting Gannon's autopsy pictures on the net?
I heard. Yeah, I did hear that. I heard it. I've been hearing rumblings. I haven't watched it myself. I heard that there was this person, this YouTuber. She put it on Patreon. I haven't watched it myself. I heard that it was like exhibit files from. I'm assuming she FOIA'd it, and so it was like the exhibits that were shown during the trial. Did. I guess that's what she showed on video, and so I guess it was like graphic. Again, I haven't seen it myself. And I guess done in poor taste. So yeah, a lot of people are pretty upset about it. I don't want to look at it yet. I know a friend of mine went to look at it because she wanted to see what it was people were talking about. I don't have the mentality today to go even think about going. I don't even want to see that shit, to be honest with you. Because I just know that trial was pretty rough. I think we all cried too at the end. That was like a really so.
Yeah, I watched every day on your channel through that whole thing, and I just wanted to know your opinion on how you felt about this creator doing that. Like, because now it's like all over the internet. I guess because she did that, people screenshot it and then they put it on Reddit. And,
right.
So now it's everywhere.
I heard like mixed things. I heard some people say it was blurred. Some other people said it wasn't blurred. The person that I asked said it wasn't blurred, but there was a lot of decomposition. So I haven't seen it myself. It's really hard for me to say. I think it's in poor taste. I haven't seen what she did, so it's hard for me to comment. But that particularly just seems poorly done, I think. I couldn't see myself doing something like that. Because I remember during that trial, there was one part where they showed a little bit of something. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I guess it wasn't. I don't know. So I age restricted the video. But I don't know, to get those files and make a video about it, and I just think it's in poor taste. That's what I would say. And that person, I don't like that person either. That person to me is a trashy person. I never liked them before that whole situation because of the whole Upchurch stuff that happened with me. That person's a really trashy person. So I never liked them to begin with. So I wasn't really surprised when this thing happened either, So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch that person. I've watched her a few times. I don't watch her as much as I watch you.
How dare you?
I watch. I'm just kidding. I watch all your lives when I can catch them, or it's a replay. I don't I'm not like, I don't watch her. I just heard this from another channel.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so.
I think she likes the attention too. I mean, I talked to a friend about it. I don't think this person's gonna have like an epiphany because the internet's upset. I think this person likes the attention, so I think they're kind of getting what they want out of this too. I don't think it's like they're gonna have a moment of clarity and like, oh my god, you know, or rethink things or anything like that. So, but all right, thank you so much for calling. I'm gonna, because there's 3 other people calling in, so thank you for calling, and I appreciate your support.
All right, Mom.
All right, maybe I'll have
All
more
right,
thoughts if I
you
actually
take
watch
care.
it. If I actually watch it, maybe I'll have actually more thoughts because I it's kind of hard to comment on something too really if I haven't seen it myself. But
Yeah.
it sounds bad, you know.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
I haven't watched it either, but I just think it's disgusting. But
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know what you thought because you covered the trial. So,
Okay.
but you take care.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. All right, bye bye.
303. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Denver, Colorado. I have a problem with what the aunt said
Ooh.
about being a home caregiver and going over to the house. That's not what they do. They do not do welfare checks at all. Matter of fact, it happened to me this morning. My phone was on a do not disturb. My son was in the bathroom taking a bath, and beating on my door was the police. My caregiver called the police and had them come over here. We had to open every door in our house. So that lady is lying. That aunt, whoever she is full of it.
So
they do not send, agencies do not send their caretakers out, whether it's family or not, to do welfare checks.
So what happened to you? Like what happened to your situation that the cops showed up?
I put my phone on a do not disturb at night.
Uh-huh.
So I don't get calls in the middle of the night. Well, I forgot to turn it off this morning.
Mm.
And my caregiver was trying to get a hold of me to see if I needed anything from the store, and I didn't answer. The police showed up at my door at 10 o'clock this morning and said, hey, what's going on? Your caregiver's trying to call you. You're not answering your phone. I'm like, oh, well, let me check. And I checked it, and it was on the do not disturb. And he said, well, we have to search your house to make sure everybody's accountable for it and there's no problems in your home.
Mm.
I let him right on in. My son was in the bathtub with the door locked, and they unlocked that bathroom door
So
and went
naked?
right on in there.
What?
He was, yes, to make sure he was in there by himself.
Mm.
So that lady sitting up there that she went over and did a welfare check because the agency told her to is a flat out lie because they're not going to put their their workers at a risk.
That whole situation kind of confuses me a little bit. So I guess she works in the field, and so I guess she said she just reported it in her system, like took notes and put it in the system, and I guess that was it. I don't know.
And another thing I'm going to bring up, because I stood up all night last night. That's why my phone was on a do not disturb, by the way.
Okay.
And I watched another YouTuber, and he was breaking this stuff down. Back in 2012, CPS, Child Protection, was called on them, and nothing was done, but nobody has brought that up.
I saw someone mention in the chat, but yeah, I haven't seen anybody talking about that. I wonder where I could find information about that.
I found it in a news clipping from Houston newspaper.
Okay, I'm gonna look into that then, so we can talk about it. That's interesting. CPS. I'm gonna look into that.
It happened in 2012.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for
And
bringing
I
that up.
think it was right after his brother died, or stepbrother. One of them, somebody had just passed away when they did it.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you. You said 2012,
No
right?
problem. I just think, right.
Okay.
I think this whole case is a hoax. I think it's a scam artist. All of them. I think they're all scamming and trying to get a 15 minutes of fame.
Oof. Well, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
I like watching your show.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yell.
Yeah, you came in hot. I appreciate that.
Yell, we like when you yell because we know we're getting to the point.
Amazing. Thank you so much for calling.
No problem.
All right.
You have a good evening.
You too. Bye. I was in. She came in hot. Well, I'll have to see about that CPS thing. I wonder. Well, check that out. The YouTuber, that's Zav Girl. I don't like, getting into drama or whatever. It's Zav Girl. It's out there. It's public. Everybody's talking about it. Twitter's like on fire. Whatever. However you feel about it. I gave some of my thoughts on it. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't want to talk too much now because we got calls, but it's kind of a weird thing because you're in this like true crime thing and you see graphic things all the time, and that's like part of it. But then it's like it's this weird thing of I don't know. It's a child, and I heard it's really sad, the autopsy stuff. I just don't want to see it right now. I don't know if I will or not. If I were to do a video, I feel like I'd probably have to see what happened in that video to see what people are talking about. Because even when I first heard that story, it was like conflicting things. It's blurred, it's not blurred, and blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know what, And I don't think I would do a video on it, but I think it was done in poor taste. I don't think she was the only one. And like I said, that thing doesn't really change anything how I feel about her. I'm not surprised at all because I really don't like that person already. And that's kind of it, And that was a really emotional trial, the Tisha Stout trial. That was really emotional. I mean, we had our ups and downs. I didn't even know how we were going to navigate that trial because I was like, this is a really serious topic. But even then, we still, in the trial, had these moments where we were kind of laughing. Even the parents had moments that there's just these moments in the trial, like kind of going through it together. And then, of course, there was these really sad moments. And then especially at the end, I was trying to hold back and like, we all cried. I think even the judge cried. It was freaking so emotional. So like, I don't know. When I heard about this stuff and like today, I was just like, I even told my friends, like, I don't even want to see this shit, to be honest with you, because sometimes seeing stuff like that affects your mood, fucks up your day. I don't even want to see that shit, yo. 216. Thank you for holding. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
Is this me?
Hi, yes, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hi, this is Lillian.
Lillian.
It's so nice to talk to you. I'm a big fan.
Thank you so much.
All of your mods.
Amazing.
Thank you. So, do you mind if I just I call for this specific reason, but about the last two callers.
Okay,
so,
about the two callers.
The one I really want to say, yeah, the last two callers.
Okay.
The one about the Zav girl, since you said the name.
Yeah.
And the autopsy photos. We all, and especially with you, I'm glad that you covered that case and you were so, genuine and sincere.
One second. Are you on speaker? Do you have...
I am. Should I take it off?
Try that. And no Bluetooth, yeah, because it's like you're cutting in and out.
Okay.
Kind of sound far. So we can
you hear me better now?
That's better, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
And this was my first time on YouTube, so.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you for calling.
So, no, I mean, during the trial, though, I think we were all caught so off guard when they showed the autopsy photos.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even warn us. Nobody expected it. So, for even us watching the trial, we didn't even ask for that. It just happened. Do you remember, when they changed the camera angle?
Yeah.
Because at first we weren't seeing the camera. We weren't seeing even anybody on the stand. And then they had switched it. And that day, nobody even knew we were going to see that. So for somebody to just put that out there and pay for it or, want to see it, that breaks my heart so much. And
some people were wondering too, I don't know the legalities because I had heard, I've never done a Floyd myself, but I had heard that sometimes when you do that stuff, sometimes it might explicitly say you cannot share this or monetize it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard people talking about that. So I don't know.
I would hope that's true. I know she's claiming that she went through the FOIA and she, got all these things, and I think either way, like even when they showed it in the trial, like we weren't expecting it. We never asked for it. It just happened. And let alone the family. So imagine just somebody just putting that like an unedited on camera. I can't with that. I just can't. I can't imagine if that was my baby. I mean, and my heart breaks for that little boy. So shame on her.
Yeah, well, I heard too that
to the other.
Oh, go ahead. I want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear you.
Well, I saw too somebody. This is all on Twitter. Somebody had tagged me. Like I think she responded. And somebody had said like, "What if it was your child or family or something? Would you want that?" And she said, "Yeah." But I feel like it's easy for somebody to say that too that doesn't have kids. You know, or even the lifestyle that
exactly.
So
exactly.
Like, you don't have kids, so I mean, maybe it's easier for somebody to say that they can't relate at all. So,
I think she would say that even if she did have kids. I think she would just say that because she did it. That's her morals. So that's, it's either here nor there. But yeah, it makes me sick. Yeah. And then to the other, the last caller, what I actually called about was the aunt of Rudy, the one who was doing the press conference. So when she was saying that she went there and she was doing a welfare check, I remember way back in the day in like my state, they would have family members, like you could get paid to be the caregiver. And then you could also get paid to be like the nursing supervisor or like through the company. I did that through like childcare as well. Like, so if like you could have your aunt or your cousin get certified to watch your child and Medicaid or welfare would pay for that. And the same thing, I think, with elder care.
Interesting.
So I'm wondering if that's what the family was doing. Yeah.
So you can get your own family member that works in that system to watch over another family member, like be a caretaker.
Right. So the family member would be the caretaker and they would get paid through the state. And then if she's working for this company, she could get paid as well to be the one who's going and checking. And that's what it kind of sounded like to me, the way she was putting it. Like, I went there, I did my job.
Sorry. The one thing that I saw that was most disgusting, and I'm responding to this because I see Lost Mother of One in the chat saying that she didn't even blow out the genitals, and people in her comments were laughing and making fun of his private parts. I saw a comment on Twitter.
No.
Like, again, somebody, I don't know if they tagged, I was scrolling and I saw the comment, and I was like, wow, these people are just something else. So,
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, I can't see the chat right now, but that is disturbing. Like, who would do that? Who would even, like, and why would you bother? Like, we saw the trial. We saw, what we didn't even expect to see when they showed it in the trial and it was blared out. Like, why? Like, why? We follow true crime. I understand that. It's intriguing to all of us, and we want to understand, like, why do these things happen? But do you need to see that baby close up? Why? Like, no. And especially to make money off of it. I think that's deplorable. I remember I followed that lady way back. I think it was during like the Chris Watts thing. And I remember unfollowing her for something. I don't know what it was, but I know when I unfollow somebody, it's for a reason. So that was that. And then when I heard all this stuff happening, I'm like, oh, disgusted. So,
well, thank you so much. I appreciate the support.
Back to the aunt, though, I just wanted to.
You can finish.
I just wanted to say, back to the aunt. I believe there may have been something going on where they were both paid to take care of the mother, and the person who had the mother living, Jamie, I think, was living in the house, was getting some assistance to have the mom living there, and then her sister, whoever she is, was having to come there through an agency, probably through the government, whatever, and check on her. And obviously didn't do her job. I mean, if she saw things locked, if she saw the mom getting burned or not well, and all she did was take notes, then you failed your mother. I'm sorry. Like, you should have just taken her out. And if it was your job, it shouldn't have been your job. Like, it should have just been your daughter duty. Like, go take care of your mother. If that's what I got from like her press conference. It just doesn't sound like she was like being a daughter.
Yeah, there's something very weird about that. I mean, I said it tonight, and then the first time we watched it, I was just like, "What? Like, huh?" You know, I just.
It's odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so odd, and I'm seeing like through that, and I just remember hearing situations like this back in the past, where like people would do this with like their family members and with child, they would like make money off of it. So. I don't know if that's what she was doing. Shame on all of them, though. I think it's a weird ass story.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you for your support.
You're welcome.
Some good thoughts. Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you for everything you do. And I have all you guys in the chat and the mods, and thanks for having me on.
Amazing. Have a good night.
I'll be back in the chat.
All right.
Always. Okay. Bye-bye.
Very nice call. 425. Thank you for holding.
Yeah, I won't take too much of your time.
Okay.
What's up, Mel?
Hi, how you doing?
It's Ronan.
Oh, bro, I was getting ready. I had my finger on the drop button. I hear that thing in the background. Bloop, 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 bloop. What is that, a clock or something? I was ready to click. I thought it was going to be a troll.
What?
I heard something in the background like that. I thought it was a troll call for a second, because the last time I think we had a troll call. So I just heard like that sound in the back. What is that sound? What was that sound? I've heard it like in cartoons and stuff.
I don't know. I told my kid to turn down the TV.
Oh, maybe that's what I heard. Okay.
Be on the line,
so. Oh, yeah. I thought it was going to show.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, can you turn down the TV real quick?"
Oh, what's up, man? I appreciate your support, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, not a problem. I'm good, thank you. No, I was just. I feel like I sent a message to you during the chat today, but I feel like I know less now than I did days ago about what's going on. Or not trial.
Yeah,
it's going to be a trial, but I feel like I know less about this story than I did days ago, and I still think it has everything to do with the cops, with her connection. They're covering for her. I don't know what's going on. I think actually she knows some things about corruption in that police force due to the fact that she was married to not married, but had a child with one and was dating another.
Yeah, that's what we found out.
She knows some stuff.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Don't say nothing, and we'll cover for you." Maybe, I don't know.
Well, yeah, she had the one guy that offed himself, and then apparently, like you're saying, there was some other guy that she was like dating or something. My friend was calling her a badge bunny. I didn't even know that was a term, badge bunny. Yeah, hopping around with different cops.
Yeah, like I said last time, that's the term that goes around with military wives too. It's the same thing with cops, same thing with the military. But I don't know. I think the cops are kind of worried about her talking, and they're going to cover for her so she doesn't open her mouth. But I mean, if they were like LA cops, she'd already be gone by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's like a legalized gang. Those LA those guys are monsters.
LA cops.
So that's pretty much it.
Well, thanks, bro. Yeah. Man, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a great night.
All right, you too, man. Thank you. Appreciate the support, bro. The cops angle. We got two more callers. We're coming right around 401. 401, how you doing? Where you calling from? 401. 401. I can hear you.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Nice. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So a couple of things. Like, I think Quanell is telling the truth, because I can't imagine. I know he's controversial, but I did follow him with the Malia Davis, and I can't imagine him just outright lying about it. But I also think the police press conference, like, first of all, major idea, Chief wants a new car. He wants a new whip. Get that man a new car, because that seemed to be his focus. But, like, I really think that they're hands. Yeah.
What do you mean?
during the press conference, he said twice they needed new cars.
Oh.
He kept saying, like, basically his when people were asking him, like, what they were going to do, were there any allegations, he was coming back with, like, we got these outdated cars.
I think it was something about, like, dash cams,
we don't have
right?
dash cams.
The dash cams, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was so
but he was
weird.
saying what year
I don't
the
know why
cars
they
were.
kept bringing that up. Yeah.
And they had, right. So that was his major point. Get that man a new car so he can stop. But he, I don't think that they're trying to, like, cover up. I think the clip you played tonight from NewsNation, what that woman said was true. Like, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
Because until they get Rudy a mental eval and someone says he's been controlled this whole time, like, it's coercive control. Obviously, she's not bigger than him. She's not stronger than him. But I can tell you, I have 3 adult sons. Out of them, one of them, if I were hurt and sick and twisted, I could have made him do anything I wanted him to do. It's just our bond and our relationship. Now, I'm not sick and twisted, so I let him live his own life. But I could have definitely kept him under my thumb, making all the choices I wanted him to make if I had started at a young age. And I think from what's been described, because if you notice, nothing the neighbors say, nothing the family says really contradicts what Quanell's saying. It's like everything just kind of like reinforces that she had some sort of control over him. But no, it wasn't like she chained him to the bed and he couldn't leave the house. He had freedoms, but I think whether by guilt, whatever she did, I don't think he was a very strong-willed child. I really don't. I don't see the special needs thing from what people are saying, but, like, I don't think he was like this. I have 2 sons that I couldn't get to agree with me on the sky being blue.
Right,
like, they would just say it was green just to not have the same point as me. So I can just see you being able to, if you're sick, control a kid without actually physically controlling them. And so I think the police are stuck between a rock and a hard place, because let's just say they bring mom up on a ton of charges. False reports, when they came, they didn't identify themselves. That's not legal. I don't know the term, but, you can't lie to a cop about what your name is and what your date of birth is. But he did those same things. He played along with it. He hid from the police. So if they were to charge her and she got like the anti-Quanell X in there, some lawyer that just wants to get his name in the news or something and like wanted to prove the point, why aren't you charging Rudy too? Because he was an adult. He's an adult. He's 25.
That's a really good point you made. I agree. That's a good point. They could argue that.
So I think that was the whole point. Thank you. I think that was the whole point of the press conference, the police being very guarded about what they were saying. They really didn't say what Quanell said wasn't true. What they said was, well, we don't have any evidence of straight up SA. Well, they really don't. That's not what Quanell said. He didn't say SA. It's like, I think they were playing their cards because they said 2 times I remember them saying, the district attorney has declined to have charges right now or press charges right now, whatever. So they must have went to the district and at least discussed it. I mean, they must realize that there's something wrong here, but if Rudy refuses to get medical help, and I mean, clearly the kid must be a little screwed up. So and I mean by his mom's doing, I'm not trying to be insulting to a 25-year-old. That's a kid to me. So I don't mean it to be insulting at all, but I'm saying, like, if this is true and his mom has kept him under her thumb for this amount of time, he's got some issues and it's going to take him a little while. And so it might have to wait until they get him a mental eval, till they assess the whole situation and can actually say, if they do press charge on mom, well, we're not going to charge him because we feel like this started when he was,
and she told him
5 years old, and you had control over him. I mean, let's think, a 17-year-old kid lives with his mom. How are you going to go against what your mom says when you're 17? If you're not planning on getting out on your own right now, then you're going to do what mom says. And if he's always been a compliant child and she really brainwashed him, then he didn't really have a choice. But one of the things that I think is super interesting is that, so 2 of my sons were in a horrible accident, and I hate when people call and make it about them, so I'm not trying to do that. But so one of them was underage at the time, and he got a huge settlement. And with his settlement, he couldn't get the money. So I looked it up because I'm in Rhode Island. That's obviously Texas. So I looked it up to be sure. But when Rudy's brother died and he got that money, he couldn't get that money. Not until he was 18 years old. Not 17, because I looked at the Texas law, and the legal age in Texas is 18, just like it is everywhere else. 17 is for consent, but not for, you're legal, you're now an adult. Officially, you can move out of your parents' house, whatever. He couldn't get that money until he was 18. So what happens when your child comes into money? They protect the money from the parents, basically. So, like, even though I had a good credit score, I own my own home and things like that. I mean, it's just a Rhode Island law, and it is a Texas law as well, that the money goes to your child, but you have to get a lawyer and you have to set up a trust. And the trust, or there may be other names for it, a conservatorship, like whatever, like, I don't know, but mine is a trust. But the money is set up so that the kid cannot touch that money until they're 18. And I was even allowed to. My son was really impulsive, so he got a large sum of money at 13, and he was this type of kid that used to go on and get his grandparents to give him money to buy stuff on eBay and like try to resell it, but then he'd get too lazy to resell it, so it'd just be in his closet. So I was like, there's no way I'm not letting this kid have this money the day he turns 18. He's still going to be in high school. He's going to be spending it on his friends at McDonald's. No. I want him to be able to buy a house. He already has a college fund, so not that, but like, I want him to be able to do things with it. This was life-altering changes to him, and he might want to have surgery to fix some of it, like not medical surgery, but like cosmetic surgery and things like that. So I set that trust up, and what they did was they let me be a person who can approve expenditures on this trust. So like my son does not pay out when he's 18. It pays out when he's like 19, 20, 21. There's all different increments, but I wrote right in there, like, if he gets married, if he wants to buy a house, if he wants to invest in a business because he wanted to be a mechanic for a while, like anything like that, he's allowed to get the money. And I just have to approve it. And then I have to go to the bank lady and I have to say, this is our plan. This is what we want to do. And I have to show her all what it's going to cost to get that money until he's like 24. And then I think he has it all. And then he has full control of it. I no longer have control of it, but I don't have control of it. Like, I can't just go to them and be like, yeah, Ty wants an in-ground pool. So, we're going to take some money out. But they're like, no, Mom, because what they're doing, why they have these is so your parents don't steal your money. So that kids have their money when they turn 18, because you got so many parents that take like settlements and stuff, and then their kid needs a surgery that the health insurance doesn't cover, and they got no more money left because Mom and Dad spent it all. Right. So that's what it's set up for. So what I'm thinking is, when the brother like passed, I don't know what he left Rudy, but I know he was the person who inherited whatever he had, whatever life insurance or whatever he had through the service or whatever. Rudy was the one who got it. And it just seems strange to me that I could have set my son's trust up so the day he turned 18, he had all of his money accessible to him. That is legal. So I just didn't set it up like that. You can't. So I was thinking, knowing her and knowing the scams and stuff that are all out there, did she set it up so it pays out the day Rudy turns 18?
Right.
Because if she did, that would make sense of why she wanted complete control of his life.
And Rudy,
right before he turns 18.
So the brother passed away in 2011, and so he was under 18 at the time.
Yeah, so he would not have gotten that money, and he could not have gotten it. They could have set it up so, like, if Rudy needed school supplies or a computer, or he wanted to take a college course when he was 16, you can set it up with provisions that there are certain allowable expenses, but it's still not automatic. You still have to go to them and justify the cost. It's called an irrevocable trust in Rhode Island, but I don't know what they do in Texas, but I did look up the law, and they certainly do secure the money, and they can't have it until they're 18. Okay. So unless it's what they consider like a reasonable expense. You know what I mean? Right. You have to go to them and they have to approve it. So I'm basically a co-trustee with this bank, basically. And the bank has a whole board that deals with trust, and they make decisions. But 18 comes, and Rudy's going to get it all, because Janie didn't set that trust up to not pay out when he turned 18. Because he's still young and he's still impressionable, and he's not out on his own the day he turned 18.
I feel like even if he got the money, I feel like somehow the mother would take it or whatever, or like be like, all right, well, I'm going to control your account, or I'm going to transfer this money or whatever.
That's why the laws are in place for these types of things. She couldn't have gotten it. In Texas, she couldn't have gotten it. There's no way, because the court has to. Anytime a kid gets money like that, there's no insurance that would have paid out to her. They know that it has to go. I mean, it's pretty much a law everywhere, as far as I know. Every state does it. And so if she made it so that he got it when he was 18, then that might be why she wanted complete control of his life when he was 17. Do you know what I'm saying? He went missing when he was 17, like, but not, it was the days before he turned 18, wasn't it? Like right before he turned 18?
So there's been a lot of contention about the age thing. And so I heard that I heard he was actually 18. But she had posted in one thing he was 17, and then another thing she posted he was 18, and then she has a post where she's replying because she was pissed off at people about the age mix up. I have the post here somewhere.
Right. But so if you're an attention grabbing person and you have this kid, why would you, and you're going to just pull this, like, kids missing, never came home, going to get some GoFundMe, why would you do it right before they turn 18? Right before they're about, because, like, I know I used to run away when I was little. I was a bad kid. 16 years old. By then the cops were like, we ain't going to pick her up anymore. She's 16. Like, we're just not going to do it. You're going to have to control your daughter. Like, so my mom was mad. She's like, oh, I can't get the cops to pick you up anymore. You can go wherever you want and do whatever you want. Because they were just like, lady, like, she's going to be an adult. I was like almost 17. They're like, in another year, she's going to be an adult. Like, what are you going to do? So, like, I feel like it's weird that she waited.
Harley Ryder in the chat says, Rudy's brother's life insurance is what started this. Mom had to hide Rudy.
What happened?
Somebody in the chat, Harley Ryder. Hold on, let me see. She said Rudy's brother's life insurance is what started this. Mom had to hide Rudy.
Right, that's my point. Is when this happened. When do you lose control of your kid? I moved out the day I turned 18. I was still in high school. I moved out. Me and my mom did not get along. Rest in peace, Mom. Love you, but we didn't. And so I'm thinking, like, when do you lose control of your kid? When they're 18, because then they can just look and go, I'm an adult now. I'm 18 if they're that type of kid, right? He clearly wasn't, but in order for her to keep that control, as she's losing the control because he's 17, he's almost 18, what better way than to tell her young-minded, impressionable son who she sheltered and, like, basically kept to herself? But the cops are after you. You can't leave. And then she's got his money. And he can't go to the cops and say, my mom's stealing my freaking inheritance. But I know he didn't get it before he turned 18. There's no way he got it before he turned 18 unless he needed surgery or something approved. College classes, like a computer for school, like those types of expenses. He could not have touched that money. So whatever money his brother left him hit his bank account when he turned 18. So she would want complete control of him.
Right.
At that point.
Well, thank you. Yeah, appreciate the call. Thank you for making those points. The insurance stuff is interesting. I wonder how much the amount was too.
Thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw something like 50. I saw 50,000, but I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
All right. I know you got another caller. Thanks
you.
for taking my call. Have a good
Appreciate
night.
it. You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I think it's the last one. I was long distance. Let's see. 880. Luffy? Who's that? I hear myself in the background. Luffy, what's up? Can you, because you sound really far away. I don't know. Are you speakers or Bluetooth?
Headphones?
Yeah, can you take it off?
To take the headset off?
Yeah, if you can.
How about now?
Amazing. A lot better.
Okay, cool. How are you doing, man?
Good, man. Thanks for calling. This
By the way,
Luffy,
if
the
I'm
mod.
talking too loud?
No, you're good. I can adjust your volume. You're perfect, I think.
Okay, cool. How are you doing? You sound
Pretty good.
nasally.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what's going on. The last stream too, all of a sudden out of nowhere, just all this stuff starts like running down. I don't know what the hell was going on. I could barely talk towards the end. I was like choking on myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel good now.
Yeah, I can hear over the
sipping
phone
on this
call.
tea. So I'm good.
Okay. Enjoy your tea.
Thanks, man.
Enjoy your nasal boogers as well. Yeah, your mucus. Because I have post-nasal drip, so yeah.
Me
it's
too.
a mess. I hate it when I have. I hate it when I have the sinuses.
Yeah.
Now there's a precursor I need to give you guys. I don't live anywhere near you guys, so I do not understand how your law enforcement or your justice system works or how it turns. But there are a couple of things that I did want to point out. And in my opinion, I thought I'd voice them. If you're too tired or getting too late, because I'm assuming it's like, what, 1:30, I think? 1:30 in the
I
morning
didn't
right
realize
now?
the time. Apparently it is. Yeah, but you're good. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 1,000 people rocking. It's late, but we got 1,000 people rocking with us, so we're good, man. Go ahead.
Woohoo! All right. The thing I'd like to start off first is with Quanell. Is you did a background check on him today, right?
An article.
I read up on him about.
Yeah.
Well, you read one article.
Yeah.
If you go up, anyone can write a Wikipedia page, but if you go through, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Because if
go
you
ahead.
don't,
you're good.
I can adjust as well.
No, you're good. You're perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so Wikipedia pages can be made by anyone, but if you do a couple of like background checks on him, they do corroborate. Like they come out right. As in the thing with the new Black Panther group that he formed, and the one before that, and all the other controversies that he went through. In my opinion, this seems like a perfect, redemption arc. For him to basically get back his reputation, fame, whatever it is that he's looking for. That's what it seems to me. And the way the press conference or the presser that he gave came off as. By the way, I'm not reading anything on chat. I literally turned my monitor off, so
good,
if anyone's saying
That's
anything
good.
to me, I cannot
Yeah,
read
don't
that.
look down, man. When you're crossing the tightrope,
yeah, exactly.
Don't look down. You don't want to fall into the chat.
Exactly. There you go. And the last time, Hooks basically distracted me, so yeah, I learned my lesson. If you go off of body language, the way he gave the presser, it's as if, you know how the reporter basically asked him that, why should we believe you? And he didn't answer that question. You listen to the entire thing from start to finish. As soon as that question was, put out there, you listen to his answer or presumed answer, and he threw the lady under the bus. And even the lady who basically spoke up, which was his aunt, right? To give you a precursor, I'm messed up with the family as well. I don't even understand where the lineage is going, the family tree. I don't know who's who. It just doesn't make sense. Hello, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You're good.
Okay. So the thing with the aunt, basically, whatever she's saying, I had to basically corroborate this with Mo because I didn't want to come off as a dumbass, for lack of a better term. Is everything that they're saying? I mean, obviously he didn't answer that question properly.
Right.
He didn't answer it properly. The other thing is everything that he's answering is basically it's like he's taking that as a personal jab to him. People who are attacked, like they feel personally attacked, that's when they basically scream even louder. And they start going around like snakes, they start serpentining through the topic. That's exactly how the presser came off as. Him yelling, him being verbal, and he's also pointing the finger towards the reporters. You know how he said that, how would you feel if this was this? Because if someone was calm and collected and he had all this paperwork done, I mean, just think about it this way. If he had all the paperwork done, don't you think he'd be even more calm? Very collected? Because he's an advocate, isn't he? So
yeah, I mean, the cops are basically
basically
calling him a liar, basically, without saying it, kind of like they're calling him.
My personal opinion, everyone, it seems like this is basically like a game of snakes and ladders. Everyone's in on it because you don't get the right answer from anyone. Everyone's dodging it. The neighbors say they're confused. Quanell, he's trying to basically be the loudest. What's the best word of saying? He wants to be the loudest voice in that entire crowd.
Right. There's a saying about the loudest in the room, something.
It's something like that. It's escaping me because my brain is mush. This story has basically made my brain mush. I love pure maths and physics, and you give me the most complex of mathematics, I can go through them like drinking milk. That's how easy it is for me. But this story has just basically made my brain mush. I feel sorry for Vic, by the way. She went down this rabbit hole, and she just went, she went kaput. And everyone else, they're feeling the brunt of it. The thing about him basically taking every question as a personal attack seems to me like this is someone who's trying to basically redeem himself without having any redemption-worthy points. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like it's all circumstantial. And if you do look back, it is circumstantial. It's all allegations, isn't it? The aunt saying this, the other aunt is saying this and that, and then you have Quanell basically voicing his opinion. The cops are not saying that this is on record. The kid, well, he's not a kid anymore. He's basically an adult, isn't he? He's like 25. So
right.
You could give him the benefit of the doubt that he was basically brainwashed would be the last word I'd use, but Stockholm syndromes are meant for hostages. Hostages who are not related. He's related to the lady. So I don't understand how you be able to, or is it the Munchausen syndrome or the effect? I forgot. But this is a very unique situation where you have a mother pushing him into a point where he has nothing else to do, because obviously no one expects their mother or father to be that demented or evil if these are true, if everything that's being said is true. And the thing about the tracks, yeah, it's I had to double down on it, and I even did a bit of digging regarding it.
You think it's tracks?
Like, yeah, yeah. Oh, the other thing that it could be without being tracks is he has a major scar, as in he had an accident there, like specifically there on the arm. Because my dad being a surgeon and a gynecologist, but he was primarily a surgeon, so he'd see a lot of crash victims. So after they'd heal, they'd come over and you could see their stitches healing. You know, after their stitches have healed up, you see those sort of scar tissue. The scar tissue heals in that manner. So it could be tracks, it could even be an accident. But then again, I don't know. You might even have that incident where, you know how a few years ago, I think 5 years ago, there was this meme running around, is the dress blue or black? And then someone came in and said it's white.
I love that meme.
You remember that meme?
I love that meme. I refer to that meme every now and then with my friends.
If you understand, yeah, but you do Photoshop, right? So you understand exactly where that meme goes, doesn't it?
I do basic photoshopping, but what does it mean? I thought it's just something with people's eyes. Some people see it as no, it's not about color blindness. Well, yes, it does. But if you go in Photoshop and you start playing around with the colors, the palette, isn't it the contrast
saturation,
or no?
The contrast.
Saturation?
Everything,
Yeah.
those three things, saturation, hue, and contrast, you start playing around with them. Even if you go through black and white, you could mess around with that photo and basically give everyone a mind bleep. Yeah. Last time I cussed, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So,
but the thing with that though, I thought there was a science behind it, because the thing with the gold and white dress, you guys in the chat know about that shit. You gotta know. If you don't know about that meme, you gotta look into that meme. Because the thing with that meme is
you guys are too young to. If you don't know what that is, you guys are too young.
Somebody would post that meme or the picture, right? And everybody, like thousands of comments, everybody sees like a different color. Half agree, half disagree. It's a freaking mess. A gangster, old, legendary meme.
That meme?
Yes.
Exactly. That meme, it puts people's thoughts into question. Because, it even puts your eyeballs into question, because whether you're colorblind or not, you know?
Right.
And it literally turned my brother's brain into mush, because he's like, I have complications with understanding color. I said, no, I see that you see the color. It's just that you don't know what to call him. Like he sees pink and he starts saying it's like magenta. I said, no, magenta is this. He's like, oh, okay. But he sees the color, the spectrum. The thing with that meme is that it starts playing around with everyone's minds, because if people understand the color palette, even with, you know how 20 years ago, the cameras that you had on the phone,
yeah,
you could literally put your finger on top of the camera and you can mess around with the white balancing.
Oh, okay.
Like you could put your finger halfway over the camera lens, the pinhole camera, and you could mess around with the white balancing to make it seem like you took a photo during a sunset, even though it's not even sunset. It's just basically like daylight. Because I did that.
Was so wild back then.
And I told my brother this. Oh my God, dude! 40? No, I'm not 40. I'm not 40. But I'm your age actually. Just younger, a bit younger, a few months younger. But when I had this discussion with my brother, I literally had to pull out 20-year-old pictures on a those 20-year-old phones, the ones Nokia E75 and older. And I showed him those pictures. I said, look, this is me putting a finger on top of the lens, and I took a picture, and the picture looks like I took it over a landscape, and it was a sunset. So it messed around with the white balancing as well for the camera. Anyways, we go back to Quanell.
Yeah, back to Quanell.
I took you.
That's just a mess.
Yeah.
This dress thing.
It is. I mean, okay. Yeah, and his rebuttals being like, it seems like personal jabs. It seems like he's he doesn't have his paperwork in order. Now, leading up to that is that file that lady was basically waving around. The lady who was holding the Thor's hammer, Mjolnir.
Yeah.
When she was brandishing that file around, my eyes caught that because look, it looked like a collage of Post-it notes. If you go back, it looks like a collage of Post-it notes. A proper filing does not look like that. A proper report does not look like that. Even newspaper clippings, it seems like it has newspaper clippings in it. And if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that presser, they did mention, they were asked whether an official complaint was lodged at was it the CPD? Was it HPD? No, HPD. Was it HPD or I think higher up? I don't remember, but his HPD, yeah. But their complaint was towards what's even higher up than HPD? I mean, what's higher up than the police department?
FBI, maybe you're talking about, or I don't know.
I think that, right? That was the question that was asked. Did you file a complaint with higher authorities? And his answer was no, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
We're getting there, or something like that. If you go back to the presser, or maybe I filled in the gaps by my own brain. I don't know, but the way it looked, the way his body language,
district attorney, maybe
me,
too.
I'm not an expert with that, but
yeah,
maybe. But the way it seemed to me was that he didn't have his paperwork in order, and this lady just mouthing off is what you have with, you know how the sass that they. Their attitude, their behavior on the mic, on the camera, the way that they used, it seemed like they were trying to, focus a lot on their body language to get the message across, without having their paperwork in order or even having solid information. And that being said, everything that they're saying, whether it's the aunts, whether it's Quanell, this is all. I might be wrong, but this is all hearsay, isn't it? Because Rudy hasn't come up and said that, yeah, he's right.
Right.
He's not. He hasn't even said anything once. Everything. I had to call Mo before I called in. Just to, I said this before. I had to call her up and say, these are my ideas. What do you think? And she's like, yeah, you should. I think you should. And the disclaimer here is that because she's a moderator, obviously, I'm not agreeing to her because she's a member of the team. I'm agreeing to her because what stood out to me. I'd like to lay that out, obviously, because I don't want people to think that maybe I've been brainwashed by my own teammates.
Oh.
But this seems like hearsay. This is hearsay, or this is circumstantial, essentially. All of these are allegations.
Right.
No one is being on the record, and you don't have official paperwork being filed. And to point another matter out, this guy Quanell is an advocate, isn't it?
Right.
He's an advocate. He understands how the justice system works. Why does it seem like he's trying to basically derail everything? Like the investigation. It seems to me like he's trying to derail things. Why? Because he's like mouthing off. People who have investigations running. I mean, remember the Noel case? That was tight-lipped. That was very, very, what's the best word of saying it? That was very organized. The way it was handled, the way people were disseminating information, the way the neighbors were even getting about the way the media was also getting the information out to the masses. It seemed like it was basically a coordinated effort. It seems like, free for all. I shoot here, I shoot there. Hey, you didn't shoot here? Okay, I'll shoot here too. That's what it seems like. The way he's mouthing off, it's as if a kid. He doesn't know what to do or how to do it, and he's just yapping. But someone who's mature or in that exact position where Quanell is, someone of his stature, someone of his experience and his profession should know very well of how to basically go forward with the presser. As far as I'm concerned, it looks like a politician.
Oh, shit.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
That's what it looks like. As if he's running for some sort of an election in a club or a clubhouse. But no. We're dealing with someone's life here. And if you start looking through the family's history, the way you've covered it, you have this rotational scheme where. Did everyone fall asleep on chat? By the way.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, cool.
The thing is, Mohawk Mom did bring the Grizzy, I believe, brought him onto the case. Quanell. That's why the aunt was thanking Grizzy and stuff like that.
We need, dude. I joined your team not long ago. I mean, it was a very short tenure, honestly, because I got in touch with you. Sorry, I got to know you through the Gabby Petito case and that the incident, and that was when she was found when she was missing for I think the second day or something when the report went out, and I got a YouTube feed. But prior to that, you had to deal with other missing person cases, which, by the way, some of the mods basically got me up to speed with that. Thanks to them. But there are instances where you need media attention to get something moving forward.
Right.
You need traction. The way a car basically, the only way you can basically get all that horsepower onto the ground on a tarmac is when you have the tires gripping onto the tarmac, right? Because if you have if you have rims on the just rims touching down on tarmac, you don't get all that horsepower down to the ground. So you do need media to an extent. You don't always need them, but you do need them to an extent. They have their pros and cons. So I understand why Grizzy would have moved forward to get media attention, and maybe because he's the only person in the entire room who shouted the loudest. I mean, that's what goes in my head.
That's why I think that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
go ahead.
Like very controversial. I have a lot of mixed feelings. You know, we talked about it, and I think in some cases, I even talked to a friend on the phone about this. Maybe he's some sort of like necessary evil in some cases. Like sometimes the media is not going to cover your story. That's why I think some of these families that are saying that article that I read on the last live stream, they're desperate. They want attention on a story, and somebody that has, and I'm definitely not for all that scamming stuff that's being alleged. So hold on. Hello? Really? Oh. That's weird. Oh, I got shut down. I don't know. It must be I wonder if it's the Fox video that was playing. Okay. All right. I'll have to. Let me see what it was. Yeah, I can start it back up.
It shows stream unavailable.
Yeah, hold on. Let me start another one up. Let me move them over. I'm thinking it's because hopefully I can redirect people. Let me start a new stream.
Did I say something that put you in trouble?
No. Just give me a second.
Schedule stream. I hope so. I hope not.
You said I hope so?
No. I said when you said no, I didn't get you in trouble. I wanted
Yeah. Okay, so let me start this part 2, and then I'll take care of this. That's so weird, and that's wrong that they did that. But it's got to be automated. One second, let me refresh.
So all that blabbering that I did, how much did they?
It was pretty quick.
You got that, but what? Okay.
Let me see if I can move. Okay, I'm gonna move people over to the new one.